Hello and welcome to another episode of the 3 E's to Optimal Health, our empowerment series of Hippocrates docs and Just One Thing for Health. My name is V-Lynn Hawkins, and I am so excited to be here with you today with one of our fabulous guests, Ms. Inez Bracy. And I think you're going to be so excited as well because we're going to be in a conversation around the 5 keys to interconnectedness to balance. And what is so great about that is that we have really come to bring attention to connectedness as it relates to how connected we've felt over the last several weeks or how disconnected we've felt, how we have come to consciousness about being in this interconnected space, knowing that with family, we can really focus on enhancing those relationships. With work, it is a more conscious effort to be there to do our work if we're working remotely. If we have had to step away from work because of the situation, what are you connected to at that point? And our discussion today is actually going to talk about 5 keys, and you can see them here because they are so interconnected to who we are and the way that we feel in our lives, that we may feel in or up. That's what we're going to talk about. So, with that, welcome, Ms. Inez Bracy. Hi, Inez. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, V-Lynn Hawkins. I am thrilled to be here. It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. When we were talking, the conversation that we were in and just knowing a little bit about you, we have to have you in the series. And I'm so grateful for that because what I've learned is that while you've had this awesome career as being a teacher and in the scientific realm, in biology in particular, and you've always been in the space of having this awareness around health and a heart to help others around that, helping people to feel and change their lives for the better. And I so appreciate that because you've done it in a rather unique way from your own perspective, being totally whole food, plant-based, and for years, and to the extent that you've navigated that from family to work to clients and customers. And I'm just so loving the fact that we're going to be in this conversation because it's an expanded conversation around how connected we can be, even though we know as being plant-based people, we're different from a lot of people. So Inez, tell us a little bit about you and this journey that I've alluded to here. How did you become a whole food plant-based person, and where did it start?
Phew, that's a great question. And I can tell you that it started when I realized that I really didn't like meat that much. And when I was even in school, I would be eating and I just get tired of chewing, so I would stop, even though I might not have had enough. And something said to me, you know what, this is not really normal. It's not natural for you to eat this. But over the years, I continued because I grew up in North Carolina as a sharecropper's daughter the first 9 years of my life. So we had hogs and cows and chickens and you name it, we were growing it, plus all the cotton and stuff on the farm. So that's what we ate. But one of the things about that, by having the cow, we had our own milk from the cow, which is so different from what we're getting today. That is so removed from what the cow gave that is unreal. Anyway, so over the years, I would dabble into being plant-based, and then I'd go somewhere and somebody will have cooked a favorite food that I knew I liked. And of course, I'd have to have some, boom, I'm off the wagon again. But over the last couple of years, I have just stayed true to what I know. And in doing that, I feel exquisitely fabulous every single day. And what I really like about it is the way my body reacts to the plants and the way I react. I have more energy. I can do whatever I desire, and it just makes all the difference.
Wow, that is awesome. And I can totally relate. That has been something that's been a part of my story as well. Um, so let's get into this conversation. The five keys, we actually have mentioned what they are. And to the degree that, anybody has this concept about interconnectedness, let's talk a little bit about what is interconnectedness from your perspective, and why is it something that we want to be mindful of?
Wow, interconnectedness is all of it: mind, body, spirit, soul. We like to sometimes break out the mind, break out the body, break out the soul. It's all connected together. And one of the things that we get to really be mindful of is paying attention to that. Yes, we're going to use some of our time in the mind, we're going to use some feeding ourselves and all of that. However, when we know that it's all interconnected, our thoughts then start supporting us in a different way. Because now that we are recognizing that and owning that, we start to think about, what are we going to put in our body? How often are we going to eat? What is it that's going to make my organs start clapping and singing because they're so excited that I'm feeding it healthy, nutritious food, that I'm drinking alkaline water, that I am really paying attention to this glorious body that I have? Why not? It's the only one that we're going to have, and it's up to us to decide how we want our body to be. And we can choose. It doesn't matter where you've been on the scale of eating meat or not eating meat, or gaining weight or not gaining weight. That doesn't even matter. Because once you decide, I am connecting all of me, body, mind, soul, spirit, everything. Now I'm being mindful of how I feed it, because the more healthy your body, the more healthy your soul, the more healthy your spirit. It's amazing how it all works together.
It really is. And let's talk about how connected we are. Um, Food and water. Talk to us about the connection between food and water.
Mm. Food and water. That is great, because many times, especially now, I remember when McDonald's first came out, and it was like, oh my God, we can get fast food. I was in I was in Illinois at the time. And when that happened, it was amazing that we just decided to start going there. But for some reason, I never really bought into it, because it's when they said fast, bing, bing, bing went off in my head. It's like, really? How fast is fast? Well, you go in, you order, and that's it. And that's one of the things I think that's been a detriment to our society, because we got into the habit of the McDonald's. And Vlyn, do you remember when we had TV dinners when they came
Yes,
out?
yes.
And so now all of that is leading us up to the microwave. So then now, boom, stick it in, take it out in 30 seconds or whatever, and we can eat. All of that is giving us the opportunity to put food into our system that has no nutrients at all. Because by the time you get the radiation in the microwave, it's taken out, if there were any nutrients in it, because the way they grow food now, if there were any, they are gone. And you continue to eat more. And then we came up with the artificial sugars, which triggers the body and the salivary glands and everything to get itself set up. The kidneys, the liver, all that gets set up to break down sugar. But they are working, but there's no sugar to break down, even though the sweet taste is there. And that also lends itself to eating more. So almost everything that we've been doing has been lending itself to eating more, or deciding to go on a diet, which is guaranteed that you might lose a few pounds. But the next, when you get off the diet, now you're back to putting on 2 times as much. So that's that up and down thing with it. A big part of being able to stay focused on the food that you eat is getting enough liquid, enough water into your system. And the best water that you can drink, of course, is alkaline water. But if you don't have alkaline, still drink water because it's important that you have that flush. Having fiber is also important. If you are eating fast food or if you're eating anything that does not give you the fiber that you need, you might find that your eliminations are not what you desire them to be. So then you start taking pills for the elimination. Whereas you could change the way you eat, getting the fiber that's required, and that would eliminate any pills.
Awesome. Oh, that is such great information. And I think it actually hits on so many levels because fast food doesn't mean good food. Water, alkaline water is the best, but if you don't have it readily available, water, drink as much as possible because to flush the system, regardless of what you're eating, we need that flush. Toxins come in, even when you're eating good food. And so I love that. So Inez, give us your take on the connectedness of exercise.
That's a good one. That is really a great one because we have become a sedentary nation, especially with all the electronics. Many times we're on the computer all day, we are sitting to eat all day, we're watching TV all night, all of these things. And our body is designed to move. And if we don't move, you start finding that you have aches and pains. And because you're not moving, the body starts to tighten up and your joints start to tighten up. Then they say, oh, you know, you got rheumatoid arthritis, you got this, you got that. Please, you are just tightening up because you're not moving. So one of the things that you can do, start just walking. You don't have to buy a gym membership. You don't have to do any of that. And if you don't want to walk outside, walk around in your house. I have some friends in Spain. It's Spain or Italy, one of those. And since they have the quarantine over there, they've been walking around. They figured out if they walk through every room in their house 20 times, they will have gotten in the steps that they want. It's so cute. It's just awesome to see them doing this. So you can create whatever it is that's going to bring you joy. And when you start walking, you might find that your back hurts a little bit and you say, oh, my back is hurting, I can't walk anymore. No, walk the next day and the next day. And by that third or fourth day, all that pain is gone because you continue. Now, if you stop, you're going to get the pain every time you go out. But as you start walking, and you start walking in a place where you can inhale deeply and look around, even if you have to go to a park, look around and see the beauty that is natural in nature. Be sure, always be sure to look at the sky. The sky is continually changing. It is never, ever the same.
Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. I love that. Yes, yes. And especially if you have kids now being at home, you know, you're realizing the mentality of staying home is contract. And contraction is only good when there is also expansion. Even with your muscles, you contract to pull in the muscle, you have to expand in order to get the reverse good benefit. And so, you know, if you're a parent at home with your kids, take time to do that, walk around the block with the kids. They need the exercise, they need the movement just as much as you do. And you can make it something fun. If you're alone, get out there and especially observe your surroundings because one of the things that I've been able to kind of bring to my own consciousness is when I see colors, like the blooms of the cherry blossoms, the white, the pink, the dark pink, the bushes. And when a strong rain comes through, the fact that the next morning colors are gone because the water has washed them away. That's kind of like our bodies too. Wouldn't you agree? When we take in the water after a meal, it's washing away it's allowing our digestive system to work as well as washing away the toxins. But you have to observe these things in order to really bring into balance the fact that they are working not just in you, but around you as well. And that takes me to the next thing to discuss. And that's mindfulness. How can we bring more mindfulness into this idea of connectedness?
Mm. Bringing mindfulness, and you were just talking about eating. And one of the things that, especially if you have been in jobs where you only had a few minutes to eat and you had to supervise children and all that, you learn to, you don't even taste it. It's like, it's gone, and then you're down. So now that you're in a space and time where you can relax into eating, eat mindfully by paying attention to the food that you're eating, taste it, chew it thoroughly, as 30, 40, 50, 60 times. Let it get liquid in your mouth. Put your fork down while you're doing this. Because if you keep your fork in your hand, you're going to keep coming back to your mouth. So give yourself permission to mindfully eat. And as you are being mindful of it, you're also getting in gratitude for this is healing my body. This is nourishing my body. This is giving me the energy that I desire. This is giving me the lifelong energy that's going to keep me here these 125 years or however long you have decided to be on this planet. As you are being mindful of that, when you are done eating, you want to clear out your space, clean it up. Just make sure that your kitchen, your sink, all of that is always clean, because that lifts the energy in your house, in your space. It also lifts the energy in you. If you walk into a kitchen and the sink is overflowing with dishes, it's like, ugh. If you walk into a kitchen, the counters are clean, the sink is clean. It's an uplifting thing. Now it feels good to get a glass of water. It feels good to get some food, because now you've taken care of that. Being mindful not only about that, but being mindful of how you sleep at night. What type of linens are you sleeping on? What are you doing before you go to bed? Are you taking time to give yourself 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes to just relax into it before you even get in the bed without your electronics? These electronics, I'm telling you, people go to bed with them, they're looking at them all the time. Put that aside. Give yourself permission that whatever happens in that 30 minutes that you're giving yourself will be okay. And leave it like that. And as soon as you come out of your 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, give yourself permission to go to bed. You don't have to look at your electronic, because whatever is on it will be there in the morning. And it'll be there the next day and the next day. So you get to give yourself the permission to just decompress and allow yourself the space to just be.
I love it. And that's an awesome segue into the fifth key. Talk to us a little bit about what you see as the value of alone time.
It depends on if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Extroverts really rarely see the value of being alone, because they like to be with people, and they're finding, I know I have some clients who are extroverts, and they are finding that, oh, Inez, it's so hard to be in this house by myself. So we do some processes to help them be calm and to be okay with it. And over this last 3 weeks, many of them are telling me, Inez, it's okay to be in the house alone. I'm really beginning to enjoy this. For an introvert, we suck it up like it's gold. It's like, wow, I can be alone and nobody's going to bother me. That is awesome. But with your alone time, be mindful of how you use it. You can go all day in your pajamas and never get anything done, even though you planned that you were going to do some things. Or you can decide to create a schedule, even though you're not going out of the house, or maybe you're not going to work or whatever, you still get to plan a schedule so that you don't sleep till 10 or 11 o'clock. You get up and start your day. You do your shower, you do your bath, you get yourself ready for the day. And guess what? You're doing this for you. Just imagine how good that feels. Nobody else is going to see you. You're doing all this just for you. That is one of the best feelings that you can give yourself, because now you're honoring yourself, you're honoring your being, you're honoring being on this planet. You're taking exquisite care of yourself. That is one of the best things you can do. And as you start doing that, you start looking around and thinking, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And then you move into other things. But the alone time, just suck it up and enjoy it. Reflect, evaluate, tweak, get going with your life.
Beautiful. I love how all of this has come together, and it's easier to see how interconnected not only are our lives individually, are we in ourselves, but within our environments, within our relationships, our closest relationships, and then going out beyond that too. Um, what's your take on how people might be preparing to get back out in the world? Um, Things will be different because we are different people now. For the most part, that is going to be the biggest difference. But there are going to be other subtle, some very covert differences that we're going to be a part of. School is out for the year. I mean, there's only going to be learning from home. And so parents who have to go back to work will be yet making another adjustment. What about the smaller kids who can't stay home by themselves? A lot of things are going to change as we come out of a complete and total quick shift.
Mhm.
And now we're migrating through another level or series of shifts to find our new normal. What is your best advice to someone, especially as we're looking at these 5 keys to interconnectedness to balance? What's your best advice to someone for managing what is most closely ahead of us?
Hmm. That is a great question because I would posit to you that our normal will never ever be the same. Every day we get up, we will be creating a new normal every day, and give yourself permission to do that. Just because you did it yesterday, if it doesn't fit today, allow yourself to let it go. Start something different. Be in the energy of accepting, allowing, and receiving so that as you do this, you are now paying attention. Mindfulness is going to be totally key here. What happens when you walk out the door and you're no longer wearing mask and gloves? How is that going to feel? Is there going to be a little bit of fear that, oops, maybe I should put them on anyway? Or maybe. Or what's going to happen when you walk out with your gloves and your mask and you're going, oh, wow, this is different. How are you going to be in the energy of being okay with going into an office or a store and somebody is walking right up behind you or beside you? How are you going to be okay with that? Because we have really had it's been at least 21 days to get into the habit of, and a part of the distancing has become a habit. Now you can still distance because that might be required. However, be mindful of what's going on and be in the energy of health and wellness, safety. That's what you're doing. As you continue to be in that energy of health and wellness and safety, it'll be easier when you go out into the workplace. Of course, if you have small children and you have to leave the home, who's going to be there with them while they're doing the virtual schooling or whatever they're doing in your area? Well, leaving your children with whomever you leave them. It is very important that you make plans and sit down with your family and write these plans out so everybody knows what's going on. Nobody can read your mind, so you're going to have to tell them.
Great advice. Great advice. And so, Inez, as we're wrapping up today, I always like to ask if there is one thing, just one thing for someone's health that you might be able to challenge them to do, what would that challenge be?
To drink more water. When you hydrate yourself, your body is excited about it. Now, for those of you who have not been drinking water, when you start hydrating, you're going to find out that you're going to probably be going to the bathroom quite often because your body's not used to it. It's like, whoa, what's happening here? So continue drinking it, and the bathroom frequency will decrease, but the water now will be being utilized by your organs because your organs have been accustomed to pulling water from your muscles and your other cells. Now you're giving it what it needs. I would say hydrate, 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 hydrate.
Love that. And that actually is one of the best weight loss remedies that has been one of the biggest secrets. Drink more water. And of course, eat more healthy foods, more nutritionally dense foods, and whole food plant-based. It's a lifestyle, it's not a diet, but if you want to do permanent weight loss, that's how you do it. If you want to reverse chronic illness and heart disease, you do it with whole plant foods. Now, are some better for some um, diseases or illnesses than others? Yes. And that's why we're bringing you these series, because we want you to know that, and we want you to have the resources to evaluate that. I mean, cruciferous vegetables are the best for dissolving and actually eradicating cancer cells. So we want you to know this, and we want you to know that we are a resource for you to get this information. And Inez, thank you so much for being here with us today. It has been such a pleasure being in this conversation with you.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to our audience, I know I say this all the time, but I just can't help it. I want you to be a part of what it is that we're doing here. If you have a story to tell, we're sharing stories of everyday people who've used food as medicine. You want to share your story, we want to help you to share your story. If you want this additional resource of information and challenges like what Inez did for you today, then go to just1thingforhealth.com. Subscribe to the weekly Better Health Challenge series. Get your weekly email, do the challenges, watch the videos, click through to the scientific evidence, read some of the success stories. There's recipes there. There's so much for you to gather from being a part of the series. And if you'd like to have a more hands-on approach to taking this journey to wellness, we have the My Health, My Priority program, where we have certified facilitators who are trained in how to move you through this curriculum to, I mean, we've had people go through the program who've lost 25 plus pounds in just 12 weeks. We've had people, one gentleman came in, he was on 7 medications. By the time the 12 weeks were up, his doctor took him off of all but 2. We've had some amazing results because it is educational and cognitive behavioral focused, and we help you to recognize the changes, because it's nice to think that you can change a decade's worth of habits in one instance, and in some cases it's possible, but in most cases we need the time to process through that. And a lot of what we talked about today in this thinking of interconnectedness, we want you to be consciously involved in your own forward movement into your better health. So join us again for our next show. And I'm Velin Hawkins, your host. It's been such a pleasure and honor to be with you today. Thank you to our guest once again, Ms. Inez Bracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.